Welcome to Workout Masters Healthy Living episode number 40. This is Ruben.
And this is Aram.
Guys, we have another great episode for you. Today we're going to talk about one of the most wonderful fruit, vegetable, nuts that exist on this planet. And the name of it is coconut.
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 I love coconut.
Let's tear it apart. Let's talk about coconut. Let's talk about the good qualities of it. Let's talk about what we can get out of coconut.
Well, for one, coconut is one of the greatest sources of a saturated fat. And it happens to come from, like he said, something that is a fruit, that is a vegetable, that's a nut, all put together. So it's a triple whammy. For the most part, coconut oil is around 90 plus, up to 96% saturated fat. The other two that are left, the monosaturated and the polyunsaturated, they're in very small percentages. So it makes it a very healthy fat. Coconut is a fantastic also source of medium chain, fatty acids, which is the best type of fatty acid that the body can use for the function of digestion and elimination. Now, not only that, coconut oil and medium chain fatty acids, they're fantastic because they're actually very, very potent antimicrobial, antifungal, antiparasitic, and I don't know what else,
Anti everything.
But they do a really, really good job at actually keeping the body healthy.
Now this is the important part. Short and medium chain fatty acids are important because your body does not need a bile salts to digest it. Yeah? So let's say if you eat a butter, your body needs a bile to digest the butter.
That's correct.
When you eat a coconut oil, your body doesn't really need anything. Mm-hmm. It is readily breakable without anything else extra, and it becomes energy a lot faster.
Right, which brings a point right on that statement that you just made, that sometimes people, due to gallbladder issues, they have a hard time digesting fats. Well, this is not the case with coconut oil. It will be very easy, and having problems with the gallbladder or a lack of a gallbladder because it was actually removed,
yes,
they can easily digest it, and they can have a great source of fat from that source.
So think of it like this: back in the days when people lived in the societies where you couldn't transport food and things around the world very easily, in tropics the best source of fat was coconut because there was really a lack of fatty animals running around. So back, let's say around the Arctic Circle or anywhere north, there was animals, the fatty animals, because it's cold, so the animals tend to be fattier, so there's a lot of fat available. Down in tropics, there's nothing available. Let's say where we live in Miami, there's a lot of coconuts. But you won't find a lot of fat animals. But
there's no hunting game.
Exactly.
In a hunting game, they do have more fat, but they're also bigger animals, so the yield of fat that they can provide is greater. Absolutely.
So what we see that a lot of cultures that grew up around coconut are wildly using the coconut. So coconut is that kind of pretty much a necessity.
I'll say that nowadays it is, because it's the greatest and cleanest source of saturated fat that we can use for our organism.
So we are lucky that we can transport this thing and have it around everywhere. Over experience, we've found that is probably one of the best fat sources out there. And since we're kind of like Ruben and I on rolling on a fat week, talking about good fats, bad fats, lard, and coconut oil. For me, coconut oil is it as far as the oil is concerned. And the biggest thing for me, it's actually gonna increase the fat loss, believe it or not. If you're ever interested, read a book called Eat Fat, Lose Fat. And Mary Anning and Sally Fallon talk a lot about how it actually can happen. Let's talk a little bit about it, Ruben, yeah?
Sure, absolutely.
You have anything to say about it?
Absolutely, I can. One of the main, benefits that you'll get from consuming coconut oil is that it's a fantastic source of fuel for your thyroid gland. And the thyroid gland basically is the throttle of your body. So once, the enough, medium chain, fatty acids are consumed from the form of a coconut oil, the thyroid has enough fuel to actually rev up. By revving up, what it means is that your metabolism increases. but your metabolism increase, while it's doing that, actually your ability to maintain body fat gets slightly challenged. I don't know if we mentioned in the other episode when we were talking about saturated fats that during the 1950s in this country they were trying to find a better source of how to feed
animals,
cattle, particularly actually it was with pigs, with pork, and they started feeding them coconut because it was a cheap source of nutrients. But what's happening, and to the detriment of the farmers is that the pigs were getting lean. They were getting they were losing body fat, which is the last thing they want to do because obviously they sell all these animals per pound, regardless of what their body fat percentage is. But since they were actually losing weight, and actually living healthier, they say, well, if we cannot use coconut because it's actually our pigs are actually getting
the whole eat fat, make you fat concept went out the window right there.
Absolutely. he actually shook a lot of people's pockets, in the downside, and they got scared, and for many years, it could be, because of a conflict of interest, which it always is, you just follow the money and you get to the root of the problem. All tropical fats in this country were actually vilified. They made them to look really harmful to the system, and it was always in favor of obtaining more grain oils and more vegetable oils for daily consumption. And what they realized is that this coconut oil in particular is probably one of the greatest, cleanest, and most reliable source of an organic by nature, because obviously the good thing about it is that these people, in a way, the way they traditional, harvest the coconuts and how they produce the oil, they're doing it in a very traditional, non-chemical Latin, fashion. So you get fantastic quality protein fat, although there's a little bit of protein there when you're consuming the whole coconut. And it's very healthy for you. It promotes all sorts of actually improvements in your health. Another resource that people can actually look for coconut cures, and I believe it's a book, and check their website, and read about it because it's really fantastic source of health.
We highly recommend coconut oil. There's a lot of good places where you can purchase it. Right now it's semi-widely available. Mm-hmm. Pretty much any health food store have it. You can buy it online, places like Tropical Tradition, Tiva. Most of it is imported from Philippines, which is have a tradition with making a coconut oil and have a good coconut self-sustainable farms and things like that, organic. Definitely go for virgin coconut oil. Or extra virgin coconut oil. This is the thing, if you want to lose weight, you definitely need to supply some sort of fat. We found that if you cook, or even take as a teaspoon or tablespoon as a supplement, which by the way is delicious oil, it will highly help you in increasing your metabolism, providing that short, medium chain fatty acids, and besides that, it's antimicrobial, antifungal, a lot of different things. It'll help you with many ailments. Besides the oil, there's a lot of other things like you can buy desiccated coconut, shredded coconut.
Yeah, coconut is fantastic.
Coconut milk, coconut water. I mean, there's a lot of different things. Besides eating it, coconut oil is excellent as topical.
Right.
So I use it a lot as a moisturizer. I don't know if you do.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. I think it's an excellent moisturizer. I don't really buy creams that seem to be overpriced, and they always use coconut oil.
Well, and if they don't, they're missing, the point. Like Aram says, coconut is a very versatile product, and it can create many different products, that you can use for everyday life, from taking care of your skin, your hair, to actually ingesting it and eating it in different fashions, from cooking with it, to being the main source of food that you're having for that day, to actually making desserts, which I had the pleasure of having many different variations, because Jenny makes some really good stuff, and also, as a drink. So you can, like Aram said, there's coconut water, which to me, John coconut, water is actually delicious. Then you have the coconut milk.
And it's high in electrolytes, by the way. It's
yes.
Probably, not probably, it's a whole lot better than Gatorade or something like that.
Well, you compare, garbage to water, like sewer.
Well, if anybody's interested in natural source of electrolyte replacement, go for coconut water.
Yeah, it will be fantastic. Coconut milk can be used in addition to making desserts instead of using dairy products. So if you have any issues with dairy, because you might be completely intolerant of it because of kosher, laws that you abide by, coconut milk is fantastic. Then coconut cream, which again, in order to thicken soups, in order to make some desserts and stuff like that, is a great source.
Yeah.
The difference between the coconut milk and the coconut cream is only the total percentage content of it. Usually milk is around 17%, total fat, and I believe cream begins to be nominated, or labeled as cream once it actually goes above 24%, fat. And
another thing is if you are gluten intolerant and you cannot just use like a wheat flour and things like that, there's always a coconut flour.
Coconut flour is really, really
So
good.
pretty much everything out of coconut can be used.
Yep.
And it can be used for your advantage. We highly recommend it. I think it's an incredible gift from Tropics delivered to us straight to our homes.
Yeah. And there's a lot of the sources going, besides, the tropics. I know that Costa Rica has a whole, national park that is safeguarded, by law. And they produce some really amazing, because they allow them to harvest the coconut. So there's a lot of very good stuff coming also from Costa Rica.
There you go, Costa Rica. Anything else?
I think that's, pretty much covers, the whole basis. And like we have said, you want to read about it. One website that I happen to think is very, very instructive and gives a lot of fantastic information. It's Tropical Traditions. They actually sell a lot of they sell the oil that I consume for the most part. There's different grades, which is great. So, you can go.
You can pick whatever you want.
Yeah, I think they go from the gold label to the green label to the express, one thing that I want to bring up. A lot of people, sometimes one of the main complaints that they have with coconut oil is that they say, that they don't like the flavor of it. And I can understand that to a certain degree, because I would not like to have something, like perhaps fish or a meat, if I'm cooking like a steak or something and I want to put it on the skillet and give it a little searing. The taste of coconut does not go together. At least in my opinion, as far as my taste buds.
Yeah, I had a hard time with it in the beginning also.
Yeah, but there's a solution to that. You can still get certified organic, express expelled, I believe it is, express expelled, coconut oil, which they actually, not by a means of a chemical reaction, they actually remove the flavor and the smell of the coconut. So what you have is a clean oil, certified organic, high quality, that doesn't smell like coconut and does not taste like coconut. So you can mix it with many different things and the flavor will be hidden. Sometimes they define it as refined and unrefined. Well, that's one. The one that is refined, they actually remove the flavor and the smell, and the unrefined ones, they're actually the ones that they keep, with integral, flavor and taste of the coconut, which is.
Do your research, guys. Do a little research. If you have questions, shoot us a question. Ruben and I will be happy to answer it.
Good stuff, man.
Use it, even if it's tablespoon. I think a recommended dose about 3-4 teaspoons every day. So make sure you cook with it, use it, put it in your shakes.
Yep.
Use it any way you possibly can. It will give you nothing but health.
Put it on your skin because it's a fantastic way to absorb it. Basically, you have to realize that anything that you put in your skin, the skin is an organ of not only of excretion but also of absorption. So it's a very easy way to get all your medium chain, fatty acids through your skin.
Exactly.
And your skin will love you for it because it makes the skin really, really nice.
All right. So use coconut oil, and if you use it, your future gonna look better already. Anything else?
That's it.
Have a good one, guys. Later.